Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
I have eyes in the back of my head because I'm a mom. Don't moms have eyes in the back of their head?
Fortunately, my mother is nearsighted,
Oh.
and I was always in the distance. So you got to wave. You got our great Mother's Day card.
I'm trying to get that presentation, but you're on. You're on YouTube. Okay. I didn't change that.
Heck, with one person viewing right now, Julie.
So letting you share the screen. Yeah, sounds good. No, that's right.
Yeah, I'll wait for the mouse.
Yeah, this one always takes a very long time to put something in.
You know, Tracy, why I'm not computer literate. I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah.
No, he does not.
So my dad is. I was like, no, don't print it out for me. I'll read it on the screen. So I can get it to it. Yep.
And
We're good? Think so. Okay. Something's out there. All right, so
30 seconds. Set the lag.
we can move to the next slide. We'll start with the revenue changes for the year. So we had several revenue changes to the year for 2023 for the year coming up. We have an increase in investments. We've had a new treasurer for a while now, and he's been doing a lot of looking into investments, and we're estimated to get about for next year about 100,000 from investment to offset our for our revenue. We've had an increase in our grand list due to new houses. And another revenue change we have that one of the reasons why we're having our town meeting later is we're waiting on the state budget to see if we get a decrease in the education cost sharing grant that goes to the school. We're looking at just over a $95,000 cut from that grant. So that would affect our revenue change if we get that cut. We're waiting to finalize how things will go to see if it'll hit us or not. So projected increases in the budget. We have public works. In public works, there's an increase of $29,028. This is due to we have a new plow truck that we are leasing, and we also have which is almost a line item swap because we had a piece of equipment that we were leasing and that lease is up. So we're transferring that line item to go towards the snowplow lease. And we moved some engineering services to the public works line item because we have several drain projects coming up that we're gonna need an engineer to review for us. So we have put that in the budget. The town planner, we were paying for that previously with ARPA funds and that ran out. So we have added that to the budget. Our town planner has been very useful for us finding grants. This can be seen with the Fort Hill Bridge. We were looking at bonding out to pay to cover the cost for that bridge. But because we were awarded the state and federal bridge program grant, that'll be fully paid for. So our taxpayers don't have to worry about paying off a bond or paying for that to be fixed. That's come to be a close to $2 million project. It's anticipated to be done in about 2026. So we're still in the engineering phase on that before any work will be done. We've also been working on several grants for sidewalks, for planning grants for the fire department, and for the Gate Street recreation complex that the planner's been assisting with. That position's being added to the budget, which is a contractor position, so it doesn't have insurance or any of that. It's just a contractor. For public safety, there was a 12% increase on the line item for public safety, which covers the cost for the ambulance, not the staff, but the ambulance itself and the fire department for fire safety. So that's been added. And for the building department, we've had a staff changing there from a part-time to a full-time position. That's the increase in the building department. The next slide. So for our capital improvement plan, this is money that is not included in the budget. It's money that comes out of the general unassigned fund. So what we're looking at for our capital projects are for public works. We have $200,000 for equipment. This includes a smaller, like a pickup truck, a sidewalk, plow. It's safer than what they have now. It's big and will clean the sidewalks easily, so they're not in hazard of being close to the road as they are now. And if we're getting grants to make more sidewalks, it'll be more useful too. And the garage needs, this includes the diesel gas tank we have out there. The computer system for it is at its end of life, and it's not, it's a computer program and it's discontinued, so we have to upgrade that to a new program. It's for a generator for the garage and for the propane tanks to go with the generator. And the tax assessor, every year we put $10,000 towards the reval. So that's there. For town hall, we have $10,000 for Finn Beach. This is to add some sand. We do it every 5 or 6 years. To add some sand, replace the buoys, and we need some sort of a dinghy or a canoe, not only for Beach Pond, but for also to access the drains on Beach Pond too.
And Beach Hill.
And then the last is the downtown revitalization. The $40,000 is to go for matching funds for a grant that we're working on. So the total is $380,000 for the capital project. And then we have two ordinances, but we'll do the ordinances after we do the budget. So if anyone has any questions about the budget, I can answer some that we got via email first earlier from Jack Wessa of Hamilton Hill Road. His question is, what is the 5103 line item for town engineering services for $15,000? I think this is the one in public works that I have. Yes. Yeah, this is the one for public works to go towards the road work and the drain work that we have.
On engineering services.
Yeah, that's what that's for.
What number was it?
103.
55103.
Oh, 55, okay.
Yeah. And then he asked about why snowplow increased for the snowplow lease, and it's because we have a snowplow that is like end of life. We waste money fixing it, and we waste time with it when it's off the road. So this is to roll a lease in for the new snowplow. And it's, as I mentioned earlier, it's offsetting. It's part of it being like $33,000 of it being replaced by an old lease that ended. So hopefully I understood those questions. Are there any more?
Yeah, I know the elderly commission proposal was late in the budget, but the budget process, but I noticed that there isn't an increase. I was wondering if you were planning to do anything in this coming year to investigate our proposal.
Right. We haven't had a chance to talk about it at the selectmen meeting, but the first step would probably be to put together some sort of committee to do the cost research and options. But we haven't talked about it at a meeting yet. So.
What?
We haven't had a chance to, we haven't talked about it at a meeting yet. So.
Well, let me know when you want to start. Yeah, I'll be glad to be a part of it.
Okay, well then,
Thank you.
thank you.
Hey, boy, I have a lot of questions.
Yep.
Number one, I don't know why this public hearing wasn't posted on that big board by the blinker light. Every other public hearing's been posted there. Are you ashamed to let the people, taxpayers, know what you're doing?
Honestly, we didn't even think about the board until.
That was
late
my
this
fault, I
morning.
forgot.
Yeah, we didn't even think
I
about
just
it.
looked down here on the board. And Julie, you said it's on the board?
I
Maybe
didn't
in
say,
here,
I
but
said it was on the board here. I never said it was out.
well, if the door's locked, I can't get in to read it.
Oh,
That's
wow,
why this
there.
is out here.
I've never put anything
You
on.
know, are you ashamed, board? To let the
No, we're not
taxpayers know?
ashamed. We just honestly forgot about it. So.
How about you, Jim? Do you know this was going on?
This meeting tonight?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're a selectman, you should know. If you didn't know, you didn't,
We,
don't know I'm sitting there.
My understanding was Ronnie was always the one that put the notices up on the board, so I've never done that. I don't take personal responsibility for it. But I believe it was on the text.gov. It was also on the website. It was it was announced in the paper.
Yeah, but I was in here, Jim, this afternoon talking.
All right, we're not perfect. We made a mistake. Sorry. We'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
And the
Oh,
elderly
excuse me,
survey
son.
showed that the signs in town are very important for people to know what's going on.
Yeah, we honestly forgot about
Yeah.
the sign. We've been.
Tracy looked up this afternoon, 35% of the elderly on a survey apparently are computer literate. I'm not either, like I told you before, I don't have the patience. We don't get the Orange Bulletin anymore. Most people know, you know. So,
They don't deliver in Town anymore.
I used to have a paper route with them.
okay. Other questions. Now, did you mention a new truck, Tracy, or?
Yeah, new plow truck. And the white pickup truck that we have is starting to get its end of life. So we'll be looking for a used one.
How many vehicles do we have, plow trucks?
We have 3 that are actually used all the time and 1 backup one right now. So
And we have 4 trucks, 3
Yeah.
drivers.
Yeah.
Okay.
we actually have four drivers because we contract
How old are these trucks?
How old are they?
The one being replaced in 2007.
Yeah,
What is the cost of that gonna be?
I can't remember how much.
It's
It's a lease.
yeah, it's a lease for, so it's like 250 and change.
But that,
For
but
7
that,
years.
I'm sorry.
We started leasing the trucks so that,
Financing.
we're financing all the trucks now, which covers, it covers like maintenance, it covers everything, and then we can just turn them in at the end and start with a new
Why do we
one.
have 30,000 in the budget line item?
Well, we still have truck reserves,
Yeah,
but there's still
But there's
truck
money in
reserves.
the capital improvement.
Yeah, but at least,
40,
they have
That's a different
maintenance.
that's a different.
that's a different one.
Equipment, $200,000. I know that only buys one truck, but. The money.
The
money
plow
is
should
there.
come with it instead of leasing at that price.
No problem.
Yeah, the floor does come with it.
So why are you talking about leasing plows?
We're not truck, the plow truck.
Okay. Now. Highway, material, guideposts. Okay, you got 6,500. I haven't seen any new guideposts go up in 2 or 3 years.
Oh, they've been putting them up, so we used all the posts, so they have been putting them up.
Well, I don't know where, I haven't seen any new ones. Okay. Seems like you have an answer always, basically. The town engineering service.
Yeah, I mentioned that one earlier, the engineering services, because we have a lot of major projects coming up for drain replacements and pipe replacements, so we,
You told me earlier this afternoon, it was to tell you what roads need to be paved and chip
that's
sealed.
part of it. Part of it's that, the part of it is $5,000 of that goes towards the road management plan that we have.
But we've given the board of selectmen raise. Good raises. And I think, you're saying how hard you're working, but to me, it seems like you're working less. There's no highway foreman. So supposedly you're the foreman.
Right, so that's where the
But
$5,000
you told me,
goes.
you
towards
told me
that.
you don't know anything about highways, so you shouldn't be road foreman.
Well, we can hire a road foreman. I'm totally fine with that if the town wants to pay
I don't
$100,000
think
for
you need
one.
to hire a foreman. You should, one of the senior fellas, if they know what they're doing, should be able to supervise the jobs.
Does a road foreman need to have any kind of licensing or training?
They should, if you don't want to have to pay an engineer, it's good to have a road foreman that has front engineering background.
Yeah, so then you're going to be paying a lot more than $15,000.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You'll
yeah.
definitely be paying a lot. You'll be paying over $100,000 because you'll have to have them with health insurance and
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards. I'm totally fine if the town wants to hire a road foreman. Because I do it as a first selectman and I'm not paid separately as a road foreman. Most towns where the first selectman is the road foreman, they're paying an additional salary to that first selectman for that job. I'm not doing that. So,
But when you took the job as selectman, you knew this.
I didn't know I was gonna be the road foreman because the road foreman position ended like right at the same time. So,
Then you shouldn't have run again if you didn't like the job. Okay, building and land use secretary, got 40,000, you have a new employee. Why is it all under the building official? That's all the work she's gonna be doing?
she does, building and land use, so. She's in the office all day to help with building permits, is most of her time scheduling. For the building inspections, the zoning inspections, and she's also the secretary for the zoning. Planning and zoning, inland wetlands and ZBA.
And that was a part-time position that is now full-time.
In general.
And she's a general office assistant, so she does,
You don't work for the assessor at all?
She does not do anything for the assessor. She'll do stuff for the town, the tax collector during heavy tax season time. She'll do stuff for the town clerk when the town clerk needs help. She does stuff for me when I need help. She does stuff for Julie when she needs help.
Do you have an assistant town clerk?
We actually, right now, we have Beth, but Beth's only, she doesn't work that many hours, so we're ready to train another person too, so.
She's
So-
only 10 hours.
so
It's
the-
only 10 hours a week,
Is this new person gonna be trained for that?
eventually, yeah.
The building secretary.
Yeah.
She's doing the job of what used to be someone like me, who did the ZBA when there was a separate
Part
clerk
of
for
that, yeah.
planning and zoning, there was
Yeah,
a
part of
separate
that
clerk
was-
for inland wetlands, now it's all one
It's all
person.
one, yeah.
So that's 3 people
Yeah.
in one job.
She's actually like 4 people. She's actually like 4 part-time, really part-time people in one job. So we had a
So
hard
if you
time.
had included all those other people, you'd come up with probably about the same amount of money.
Right, well, probably more because we had a really hard, no one wants to work part-time right now, so we had a really hard time. We tried to put it out part-time and,
What do you project the mill rate's gonna be?
well, it depends on if the ECS cuts go through. If they don't go through, I think we're looking at a 0.01 decrease. And if the cuts do go through, it's a 0.4 increase.
A 0.01 decrease.
Yeah.
Like, why bother?
The way that calculation came out.
Yeah,
Yeah, a 0.01
make it a
decrease.
no.
Yeah.
And the state seems to think that there's the Republican budget out there is asking for no hold harmless towns for ETS. So they're asking for no cuts for any of the towns. The appropriations committee did the same thing. They have a hold harmless agreement in their budget. The only one that has the decrease is the governor, but they're so far, everybody I've talked to seems pretty confident that the decreases won't happen.
Won't
happen. Yeah.
Okay, Jim, you're a finance fella. What is 8% of our undesignated or general fund?
What's the amount of them that was made fund right now? 2.8. We had that in last meeting.
We have 3 million something, correct, Julie?
We know.
No,
I
it's
think
two
it's
something.
2 something.
Right in the auditor's report.
Yeah, so in the audited balance was 1.397, 1,397,214. Then after the capital project, once the money after the capital project, if that gets passed, we'll have 1,017,214.
112,000. 8%.
Yeah.
About 112,000.
When.
8.8% of 1 million.
1.4 mil.
That's why I get paid the big bucks. The one thing we all have to worry about though is that if interest rates go down next year, if we have a recession, we'll be feeling it by November, so interest rates will probably start getting cut. Early in 2024, our projection on investment income from the revenue that Tony's generating right now.
Will go down significantly.
Will go down.
Well, and there's other things he's looking at too. He's looking at, because obviously that's going to happen. So he's looking at a couple of CDs, short-term CDs. There's a lot of the rates that are fairly high right now for 3 years. So I mean, the juggling act and how much we need to keep in to maintain our, paying our bills and being able to invest. So that's something else we're looking at.
Okay.
Yes, he is aware that, this isn't gonna be sustainable forever. So it's actually 100,000 conservative, expecting it to go down. So there is a possibility we'll get more than 100,000, but it's great to pick up. It'll be,
Where are these sidewalks going, suppose?
We're looking at continuing the sidewalk from, it currently ends at the corner of Beachdale. So we're looking at, carrying it all the way to, the Riverside Mall. To make it safer for people to walk. A lot of people that live down here work at Bronson's or Town Grill, and it's really dangerous to walk on the side of the road there when there's no sidewalk. So we're looking at continuing down there, and we're also looking at putting sidewalks down here on Gate Street to make it safer for people. So we can put in a crosswalk and everything, so it's safer for the pedestrians using the field.
That wouldn't be part of the Gate Street
It would be
project.
part of the Gate Street project.
And make Little Valentine in a big city.
No, we just want to make it safer
Well,
for people that want to walk around.
I mean, Art, you would grant me this, and the sidewalks that run from the school to Sundays, past Constitution.
I know, but we get a lot of traffic, Jim. But what happened to the signs that used to be down by the Baptist church and up by the elderly housing for the school?
We're working on getting those signs replaced. They should be replaced by the time school starts next year.
Why did they disappear?
They haven't disappeared. They're like old and outdated and they don't run anymore. So I've been working with the DOT on getting these replaced. We had the money put in the capital project last year and we just have to continue working with them to get them replaced. They should-
It's a state road, why
It's a
does
state
the town
road.
have to pay for that sign?
Good
That's a
question.
good question, and that's what, one of the things that took me the longest was to try to figure out who was responsible for the signs, because they haven't been working for, ever since my kids have been in the school, and they're in high school now, since those signs have worked.
Yeah, we
So,
talked about it was just over a decade is the last anyone remembers them working.
yeah, so I don't know why they got turned off, why they're not working, but the town would either have to pay to fix them, which they're old and outdated signs, so they said it's better just to buy new ones, and we had the money in the budget, the capital projects last year to do it. This other stuff was going on, but we.
Oh, it wasn't just that they were old and outdated, it was that the state would not repair them
Yeah.
because they are no longer supported.
Yeah,
That is a sad situation going into this, when the school is right there and so many kids are walking.
yeah,
It's a sad situation.
I mean,
Yeah.
you get a lot of trailers going through here. I think I know that. They avoid the Waterford scales, come through here and jump on 95 again, avoid Hope Valley,
mhm.
tolls, I believe. There's
No, they don't have the tolls
toll
anymore.
guy took them down. But
But,
still, they're
yeah,
using this route.
yeah, we know.
Well, I think we have some fat in this budget. And I think you should put more attention to the town roads we have instead of building new and grants and things. You told me you had 300,000 for paving, Tracy. But I see roads like Williams Road is falling apart.
Mhm.
We don't need an engineer to tell you that's falling apart.
Right,
There's roads that aren't heavily traveled, you can chip seal them cheaper.
Mhm.
It's been a while since I've been on a board, Jim. And, we had it set up every 10 years. A road would get some kind of attention if it was in fairly good shape, just chip seal it. But that's long gone, and I see these roads, like Williams Road, I happened to go down there a week ago Sunday, and it's totally falling apart, you're gonna lose the whole road. You do not need an engineer to tell you, pave it, Shetucket Turnpike. Like, at Williams Road, now you've gotta pave it because it's shot. But if it was chip sealed before, you wouldn't have to spend the money for paving. Shetucket Turnpike, I haven't been down there for a while, but, that's not heavily traveled, but that was falling apart down the other end.
Living on Wiley School Road, near that stretch of Kentucky Turnpike that you were talking about, my word would be that if we made that road any smoother than it is right now, it would be an ideal quarter mile. The kids go racing on that portion of Kentucky Turnpike.
Yeah.
Up from Wiley School Road and in the State Forest at the Dirty Jim's house. I would be opposed to repairing that road any better than it is right now, Art, because it's basically a quarter mile for the kids to race on. And the crappy road as it is right now, people do drive slow on it, and slower is better.
But there's hunters and there's fishermen and there's hikers and there's bikers and there's all kinds of people.
I walk it almost every
Yeah.
day.
And I think also there's more truck traffic on the back roads. I see a
There are
lot
a
of
lot
trucks on
back there.
Condon Road, and sometimes I wonder, and Condon Road is getting bad.
Mhm.
And I think it's because of the heavy trucks that have been traveling, breaking the pavement.
There's a few roads that have heavy traffic volume. Like Condon Road, Brown Road. Years ago, they wanted to take trucks off of Condon Road. But you know, the truckers, I had a big truck at the time, and you pay all kinds of taxes and special permits and things to use these roads, because you get state funding.
Mhm.
You can't stop them. I was on a board. I told one person, you carry your oil down to your furnace in cans then. We'll eliminate all the trucks. You want to eliminate one? Fair, everybody, nobody. You know?
We're not talking about oil trucks, I'm talking about
It's a truck.
trucks that chop with chopped corn and the trash trucks, the waste trucks. And things like that, even things like UPS and FedEx, they're big enough that,
Yeah.
and they're carrying enough that there's weight on the road.
Yeah, we get them on Brown Road too, you know. In the transfer station.
Are there any more budget questions?
Yes,
Okay, go ahead.
are you finished that? All done? Okay. As everybody knows, by this time, my pet peeve is the Wiley School. Okay, we have the town hall, the library, the firehouse, the school, and Wiley School as town buildings. Okay, last year you spent zero money in your budget to do things that need to be done at Wiley School. The electric,
No,
No, we spent money.
yeah,
well, it's right here.
We spent money on, we paid the electricians. We got the electrical work all done last year.
wasn't that 12K?
Yeah. So
It's 12K for electrical work at least.
There's
There was others.
capital project line items to do what needed to be done. So there's the committee, the Wiley Schoolhouse, that's been working on what needs to be done.
Well,
And they've been working on telling us what needs to be done, and we paid for that. And then we added an extra line to the budget, a recurring line item to the budget for Wiley School, for anytime there's anything recurring, like the basket in there and things like that.
Yeah.
We can fix it, stuff like that. So far, we haven't had anybody tell us that there's anything that's needed, but
well, they had a meeting in Wiley School in the winter time. And people left because it was so cold, there was no heat. We used to be, going back to just not a long time ago. There's a wood stove in there, which in one of the reports that was done, the chimney needed to be repaired. Is the chimney repaired?
I thought that they told me that it wasn't a priority anymore, but I think
Priority, it needs to be fixed. It's, you know.
The fire marshal said you can use it.
we
Can't
can't
use
use
it.
it, but I think they said that I'm not 100% sure, but I thought they decided that they didn't need to use it. Yeah,
that was what the committee was working on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think COVID also was a big deterrent to.
This happened
getting
before
people.
that, man.
No, it did happen before that, but I thought they decided they wanted to spend the money on other things and not worry about that.
The
Well-
flagpole's been down for years.
Flagpole down, bell's not there. The chimney's not repaired. And, you know, if you want people to have a meeting there, which we used to have lots of meetings there, speakers and all kinds of things. We all went there. Everybody loved it. I always opened it up for anybody who wanted to go into Wiley School. People come from all over creation and want to do their genealogy. And then they want to go to Wiley School. And I always did, and still would. But I want to see, you got it at $1,000 in here. $1,000 is a drop in the bucket.
We have
To
the money.
maintain.
Right.
I understood, but it's in the
We have-
capital improvement
we have-
budget, not the town budget. So money is put aside from the.
I haven't heard that it's in the capital improvement
it's-
budget at all. So
It's
how
not,
much money is in capital improvement for Wiley School? It is a town,
we have, I can tell you right now, I have the plan right in front of me.
Yep, the,
Oh, you have.
this
it.
page, yep, I was looking for it. So there's $16,900 in the capital improvement project for Wiley Schoolhouse.
And what are you gonna do?
We're gonna do, we're looking for the pole, we get the flag pole up, I think that was the number one thing.
There was the having a new yoke cast.
Yeah,
That was it. And again, this is all what the Wiley Schoolhouse Committee brings to us. What, and that's setting the priorities on what needs to be done.
When did you hear about this?
We
Many
get
years
regular.
ago.
we, well, they're asked to come every budget year and submit their budget request, and we have meetings for them to come and talk, and they didn't sign up for the meeting, but they said that they did submit that they didn't ask for an increase in the budget.
People are discouraged because of, the fact that the Wiley School is going down here, let's say. But the thing, I want to see that maintained. I don't want to see what happened to the church, happened to Wiley School at all.
Oh, I agree.
I want to,
Yeah.
it is on the National Registry of Historic Places. The Historical Society gave it to the town in 2002 for $1. We have a lease for 99 years, and I have paid the rent for 20 years. I don't remember what the last date was that we paid the rent. But I have tried to keep that up because I don't want anything to happen to that school. And that is my pet peeve. I want to see it maintained. I want to see it used. And I want to see it available to people. He's a diabetic, his alarm's going off. Not his blood pressure, his alarm. So anyway, that's, I want to see it maintained. I don't want to see it fall down. I don't want to see it go to the way of the Methodist Church at all.
Tracy, fire the chimneys, we used to have Christmas time, we had a meeting there, your mother would go, Jim,
I was there this month.
Mr. Jobs would light the fire, I would go up and light the fire, as far as I'm concerned, the chimney isn't that out of shape, I mean, if somebody who's used to burning wood and pays attention and shuts the
No, the fire
bathroom.
marshal said we couldn't use it, so.
Yeah, I
we're
know,
not gonna
I know.
Well, let's fix it so we can. Why
It
can't
needs to
we?
be replaced. Well, it was, we did have it planned to do that, but it was knocked down in priority. It's not, I'm not saying it's not gonna get done. It's
So
just-
if
Well,
you,
it's
been a long
you had
time.
money. You've been so
we have
busy
the
with-
money to do it. We can do that first
Right,
if that's what
Tracy.
the group wants.
This goes back to the computer and I don't use it. You
Mhm.
spend your time chasing the mouse and waiting for it. I'm going home, thank you.
I think there's a meeting of the Longtime Historical Society this month, right?
Thursday.
on Thursday, they're
Yeah.
gonna meet at the school and it's talked about, Karen Britt is doing it. It's,
I'm a member, so I'll be there.
are you going to be? You have,
One of the
smarter
three
than a
things.
third grader.
I can
one of the
find out
three,
from
but-
EDC meetings at one.
I know, I already told Jack I wasn't gonna be able to make it, because I was going to historical one.
Yeah.
But we can find out from them what their priorities are, and like I said,
We will chase that up, Marianne. I'll ask you.
I want to live long enough to see it in good shape. I don't want anything to happen to it. It's been there a long time. My grandmother taught school there when she was a young lady. And I want to continue on with what she's done.
Mhm.
thank you.
All right, Marianne, safe night.
Oh, yeah, I can get it.
Did you have any questions?
No, I think the budget looks good. My biggest concern was the elderly part.
Okay.
But you've given me a good explanation,
Okay.
and if there's going to be a subcommittee.
Yeah, we didn't have time to do the
Yeah,
research on
Yeah,
it.
I know it was late. I just wanted to make sure that it hasn't.
No,
No,
it-
no, no, the data that you collected, we are still going through that, okay? So,
I did tell the seniors group at the first of Monday of the month about our proposal, and the ones who were there thought it was a good idea. And it was like, oh, we never thought of that, we don't need a building, we just need a rental.
right.
So, it's out there. I even encourage them to contact you, email,
Okay.
snail mail, whatever, in support of it, and so just so you know, it isn't just me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, have a good night. Safe travel home, everyone.
All right, so we'll move on to the ordinances.
Yep.
The two ordinances we have to go forward with are the library board, the library and board of trustees, and the flood damage prevention. The library and board of trustees is just it's a general ordinance forming the library and forming the board of trustees. And it might sound odd because we already have a library and we already have a board of trustees, but
They have no charter, they have no mandate, they have nothing to back them up.
yeah, so.
They lack legitimacy.
Yeah.
Exactly, they are an illegitimate board of trustees.
So we have found when they were established through a town meeting, which was the most important thing. So we've included that in the ordinance. It doesn't change anything. It just gives teeth to what we have.
I like Jim's term, it legitimizes.
Yeah. So that's the library and board of trustees ordinance, and then the flood damage prevention ordinance is it's an update to an existing ordinance every year, not every year, but every, like, maybe 5 years, I think, somewhere.
What's out there, new guidance.
Yeah, FEMA puts out guidance, so it almost looks identical to the one we already have. There's just some reference numbers change. I think that's the only thing. So this is just like a textbook replacement. It just replaces the one we already have. So those are the examples.
So briefly, I don't know if the slides changed throughout. I saw we were stuck on the title slide on here, and I see Troy Jones just said the slides aren't changing.
It depends on when you got on.
Yeah, I didn't see the live feed on YouTube go past the first slide.
I don't have to-
Oh, well,
Yeah,
I read them. I need to.
yeah, there wasn't a lot of information that was there, and you did read all of it, so yes, you drained the slides.
They didn't miss anything. I read them. So.
So, and we
Share
did
the
peek
screen
at
and I don't
five.
know why.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
So that ends the public hearing. And I don't know if we want to stop and restart for the meeting or just keep going.
let's keep going.
Well, don't we need to stop that? So we've got two different video files?
I can title watching. I
Yeah,
can title them the same.
just put the title of both.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
Okay.
It's gonna kick the poor people who are watching. I'm like,
I want to go for this too.
And Troy Jones is the other one.
So Troy Jones and so my wife will see when I'm done. So she watches. Yes.
All right, so we'll move on to the special meeting.
We need to vote to end the hearing.
No, we don't vote during hearing. So they're just hearing. All right, so we're on to the special meeting. The first is the town government for the budget for fiscal year 24. So we just need to discuss if we, based on the public hearing, if we want to make any changes or just move forward and present with what we have.
I think we should just move forward with what we have.
Okay.
I make a motion that we move forward with the budget as written.
And second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we've approved to move this budget to the town at the town meeting. Next is the capital improvement project budget. Did we want to make any changes to that? Or move it forward to the town?
I make a movement to move it forward to the town as written.
So
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of moving the capital project funding recommendations to the town meeting, say aye. Opposed, hearing none, there forward. Okay, and then we have to call for the meeting.
You're right. I have a copy here, too, so I here you do.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a long read, Tracy.
I love it when all the numbers are in there. All right. We didn't make any changes, so here we go. Town of Allentown notice of the annual town meeting, May 30th, 2023. This public meeting will be held in person and will be live streamed on the YouTube channel, which is the Town of Arlington, Connecticut. And I'm not gonna read the link, but it's there. Eligible residents and electors must be present in person to participate and vote. So you can watch during the live stream, but in order to vote and ask questions, you need to be in person. The electors and citizens qualified to vote in the annual budget meeting of the Town of Allentown are hereby warned that the annual town meeting will be held on Tuesday, May 30th, 2023 at the Allentown Elementary School, 195 Main Street in Allentown, Connecticut at 7:00 p.m. for the following purposes. 1, to appropriate the funds necessary for the Board of Selectmen's budget for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024 in the amount of $2,470,871. Number 2, to appropriate the funds necessary for the Board of Education budget for the fiscal year 2023-2024 in the amount of $7,055,334. And 3, to appropriate the funds necessary for the capital projects budget for the fiscal year 2023-2024 in the amount of $380,000 from the unassigned fund. 4, to consider and act on the following proposed ordinances. The library and Board of Trustees ordinance, and B, the flood damage prevention ordinance. And that is the call. Okay, do we need a motion to approve the call?
Yes.
What the heck?
Seconded.
Okay, so the motion has been made and seconded to approve the
And I
call.
need you all to sign.
You know,
One copy, not far into it.
all in favor of the meeting call?
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none, it's approved.
We want to make sure that they are hereby warned that this is happening.
Let's make sure it's on the sign.
Make sure it's on the sign.
Yeah. Like, there's no one to ask to put stuff on it. Usually people are asking all the time. Like they.
I thought that was Ronnie's job.
Well, we tell him,
Yeah.
Oh,
we tell him what we want on it, but we really, like the plant, they didn't ask to put the plant sale on there. They didn't ask to put like.
Oh, I know, we were talking at the plant sale. Oh, shoot, we forgot to put this on the town side for the plant sale.
You get reminded when people ask to put stuff on there. We're like.
Yeah.
We got to put that on the sign.
maybe get Ronnie put the plant sale on the sign tomorrow.
The plant sale.
We're Saturday. We're Saturday, the day before Mother's Day.
Coming up. 2024.
And I'm gonna say, we were, total profit, we were down like $98 from last year. I'm gonna say it. Darn it, that's because we forgot to put it on the side. So
No,
we're paying the price.
Home Depot's revenues are down as well too. And then just Tracking with the economy.
All right, so also on the agenda for new business is the meeting house property. So originally,
Did someone offer to buy it?
no, but
Oh.
I'm just trying to, I was talking to Public Works and it's gonna, the park idea is nice and I was liking it, but we're working on the parks over here and when the building wasn't there anymore and I saw how small it really was, I don't know if it's
It's not worth it.
worth it.
Just
Yeah.
sell the property.
So that's the other thing, we have to.
Well, hold on, what about if the big sign that the digital billboard that we were talking about, what about making that where the digital billboard goes?
I don't know if they'd be able to see it there, but we're talking about putting it, we're talking
Hold on, I'm just thinking about
putting
right
it,
digital billboard
In
and
the
the houses on either side, yeah, no, sorry.
because if the billboard is in the plans for the Gate Street project, because we're looking at putting it like. by
Just
20.
next to Sunny's,
Yeah,
but down the hill, so it's gonna, I don't remember if I made this comment at that meeting, but it's gonna have to be like 20 feet tall to be visible, because it's like
it's
6 or 7 feet down from the sidewalk where it would actually go. So you've got to make up that 6 or 7 feet, and then however high we want it.
yeah, well. I don't know, I don't think it'll fit over there.
I mean, it might,
I think it would cause more problems for the town with the homeowners on either side there, so. I'm just picturing, apartment city dwellers with the neon sign blinking in their window at night. So,
So I did talk to the town attorney about how to go about the selling the property, so we would just have to decide if that's what we want to do. Then it goes to planning and zoning, because they have to check to see if there's any restrictions on the property. And they have to do an 8-24 to sell it. I don't know what that.
Paperwork.
And then they have to come back and say if we can sell it or not. So then when they say we can sell it, then we have to decide how we're gonna sell it. Are we gonna put an RFP out for it? Are we gonna just ask for sealed bids of at least X amount? Like, then we have to figure out how we wanna sell it. Then after that, we figure out how we wanna sell it, we give a due date. So then we do a quick claim deed, and it has to be, voted on at a time meeting for the final approval of the amount and sale. So that's the process.
Well,
So it won't happen right away, it'll happen,
that probably really doesn't help about it,
right,
because it's not an existing building.
right.
The only people that would have any real interest in that
Our
property.
neighbors, and that's what the lawyer said, probably easy just to do sealed bids and say, this is, you want at least X amount, and see if anyone puts an offer in.
Mhm.
I mean, there's also the option of, 150 square foot apartments, 5 stories high.
With no water and sewer. It'd be like back
Off-grid
condos.
living, off-grid living.
Back condos. So we need a motion to
So moved.
sell that property.
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded to sell the town-owned property.
Is there an address for that?
I think it's 2. Is it 2 Church Street? I think so. I don't want to say the wrong address. Sell the neighbor's house.
Somebody's house, sealed bid, somebody's house sells for $10.
Church.
Yeah,
How about that?
yeah.
Yes,
So any discussion?
no,
No, all in favor?
Aye.
aye. It's, the meeting house was a problem for long enough. Now we don't want the little postage stamp size lot to become a problem in 10 years from now.
Because I was like, wait, they wouldn't be able, if we turn it into a park, they won't be able to mow it with the riding mower, and I don't know if they even have a push mower. We have
It's
to
just-
like
it's
buy a
one more
push
thing to take
mower.
care of.
They would have to weed whack it,
Oh, yeah.
and they would love that.
All right, so that's, so the next thing is I have a driveway permit that, we need to approve so they can get their refund and what's the next way?
By the way, we're back up to bond.
That was for 102 Brown Road. This is one of the new houses. They did put their driveway, apron in, and it's perfect. So, Public Works went, inspected it, so I'm requesting that, the bond be released.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor of releasing the driveway bond of 102 Brown Road, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, and it's released. And then the last thing on the ordinance was, on the agenda was the blight ordinance, because I put it on there if we got it back from the attorney and we haven't yet. So
She's stalling.
I'm not stalling,
She's
that's
stalling.
the biggest excuse is that it got stuck at the attorney, and that's.
So do we need to make a motion to remove discussion of blight ordinance from the agenda?
On there just because, well, it was put on there because I was hoping we'd have it by now to like move forward with it, but we don't, but. I've never had to say it's stuck at the attorney because usually things come back pretty quick, but. Cause I always
I
thought,
just signed the attorney's check to.
I always thought that was an excuse that it's stuck at the attorney, but.
Well, in that case, I make a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Great.